Hello everyone, this is Gritty Astro speaking from South America for the world. Today I wanted to talk about a case that has came to my attention, and that is the case of the baby killer nurse Lucy Letby. It caught my attention thanks to Crime Scene to Courtrooms channel, which is a great channel for court reports on crimes. He's very good. I also enjoyed his walkabout in St. Michael's on the Wire regarding Nicola Bully's case. And because I am subscribed to his channel, I noticed he was posting about the Lucy Letby case. And what struck me was the fact that she was very young when she allegedly committed these horrifying crimes. She was 25 and 26. The crimes allegedly went on in a span of a year between 2015 and 2016. She was arrested first, I think, in 2018, rearrested in 2019, and finally arrested, remanded and stayed remanded in prison since 2020. She's currently 33 years old, which is interesting. But what struck me was that when she committed those crimes, allegedly, she was just 25. And I thought, wow, what kind of sick do you have to be a baby killer at 25? Because normally, if you go back in time and review other cases of baby killer nurses, you see that they are women are much more older in age, and you know, the kill it's very common for baby killers, like in the medical fields, to be, you know, above a certain age. But Lucy Letby was just 25. I mean, what triggered her to murder all those helpless little souls, if she did? From now on, I'm going to give just my personal opinion. So, even though the case is still on trial, and there hasn't been a verdict yet, I want to give my impressions of Lucy Letby. Because I asked myself, I mean, what drives this particular woman to kill so many babies and to attempt killing so many other babies, and not just babies, just premature babies, like helpless babies. Even, you know, it's just so sadistic, so black, so dark for a young woman to do that. And let me tell you, in my view, having listened to Crime Scene to Courtrooms podcasts about Lucy Letby, I have to say that all the circumstantial evidence that they have a good case against her. And I think she's going to be convicted, and rightfully so. Because it's a whole, you know, it's just my perspective, it's what I get from her. I like to read the facts known, and but I also like to give my let's say esoteric input, what I get from her you see, among other things, I work as a tarot reader. I have been doing so for about a decade, and it's a gift that I got from my late great-grandmother Irene. She was not a tarot reader, but she was definitely in another level, in another plane. I talked about her, I think in one of my first posts, and she didn't do tarot. Actually, she was a strict Catholic, even though she was half native Indian, native South American. I'm not sure the word Indian is correct, but native South American. She was like a fierce Catholic, like a really old school woman, but she was the village witch doctor, which is just a word for a magical person, and that's just a word for a person who has special abilities, let's say. Okay, so I think that that special second sight, or whatever you want to call it, trickled down onto me generationally, and I think that's who I got it from my great grandma. And since I was a child, I was always capable of reading people, but I wouldn't just focus on what they are saying or how they look, but something beyond that. Some people will call that a aura, and those are just words, okay, for reading a person beyond what they are telling you. And it's an ability that I cannot explain away, but I do know that I am good at what I do in tarot reading, speaking, regarding tarot reading. It's the outlet, it's the main outlet where I can use that ability, to read people. It's like I get an energy, I get like a language, I get something that I can't explain from people, that is not readily visible. Okay, so that's what I do. It's something like, it's second nature. I can't control it. So when I put my eyes on someone, be it a client or just anyone who gets my attention, I will read them. But it's not intentional. It's just something that it's a second nature. It's like a second side. It's like an other side. And it's like another sense. Yes. They say it's a sixth sense, but that's just a number. It's just another sense that is like an antenna that is able to get other information. So when somebody gets my attention, I focus not just on the person, but on their belongings. How do they live? How are they? What kind of colors do they prefer? What things do they read? How they arrange their belongings in a house setting, like the bedroom, whatever. Also the way their eyes. But the eyes. The eyes, they say that the eyes are the windows of the soul, and yes, up to a point I agree, but in her photographs, Lucy Letby, it's like she's unreadable. Her eyes are, there's nothing there, and that's a big red flag, It's like there's something that is absent with these people. That's what I get in the first place. I mean, but the eyes can be deceiving. I mean, because somebody at first glance may have, good eyes, or like, like warm eyes. They seem nice, they seem warm, but they're not, okay? But normally the eyes, if you look enough, the eyes are very telling. And she always appears in her photographs very smiley, but it's like it's a mask. Because if you look in her eyes, it's just like I feel like she's acting, okay? It's a mask, it's not real. But anyway, that's not the most important thing that I see, because I see beyond that. I see through her life. How does she live, okay? How does she speak? What kind of narrative does she present? And then you make a profile, but it's an esoteric profile because it's based upon information that it's inferred from a sixth sense. And regarding Lucy Letby, there are many things that I have sensed about her. For example, and the reason this case caught my eye was because of her age when she committed these murders. Okay, and this is just my personal opinion. They say you have to say allegedly, but I really think she did it, so that's my opinion. Why so young? Why would such a young, she's not she's not like this gorgeous person, but she's quite pretty, Why wasn't she with a partner, being pretty, independent? And I know that being a nurse, it's a very hard job because you work long hours, I think, and you also have to take the night shift sometimes, and that's what Lucy did. And I have been reading about nurse killers, or they call them angels of mercy or angels of death, which, I don't think it applies to Lucy here. And mercy, what mercy, right? But anyway, they are called angels of death, nurses, serial killer nurses. And it's a hard job being a nurse. But I read that killer nurses thrive on this kind of job because they usually pick up the night shift when there are less people around to monitor them, and they thrive on the adrenaline that they get from the code, okay? From a patient crashes and everybody's running to them to save them, and they thrive on that drama. They are, in a way, energy vampires. I think all of them are energy vampires who feed on the energy, on the rushed energy of the code, of the emergency, of the person crashing. And if you think about premature babies, I mean, that's beyond evil, right? Taking life, it's evil, but there are shades of evil to me. Taking babies especially vulnerable babies like premature babies are, who are in incubators. And I have experience on that because, my children were born premature, so they had to spend a period of time in the NICU, and it was quite a traumatic experience. Thanks God, they are very well, and they are thriving. I mean, they are not babies anymore, and they have grown to be amazing, healthy, beautiful people, young people. So that's another thing that caught my eye, the fact that she attacked premature babies in their incubators. Because I had experience with my premature babies, it really struck a chord inside me. Yes, her age and my experience, what I went through. It's really traumatic as a parent to have your child in NICU. It's really difficult because you can't see your child as much as you want to. You have to be separated from them from long periods of time, and it's nerve-wracking because you don't know what is going to happen because they are so tiny. I mean, even though they were healthy, my children, I saw other children there in the NICU, and they were failing, and they had horrible, terrible, health problems, Thank God my children were healthy, but premature. They had, some little health issues, but as they grew up, those health issues resided, okay? It was just a product of being premature. And so I know how traumatic it is for parents to endure having your premature baby away from you inside an incubator 24/7 and being taken care of by people you don't know who the fuck they are, okay? Having said that, the team that attended my babies, they were amazing. And because that's the norm, people in healthcare, they are really amazing people, but then you have these abhorrences of nature who, thrive in a negative way. They feed off the energy presented by killing people in hospitals, Those nurses, doctors who kill, yes, but they are the absolute minority. And but even though the team that attended my babies was amazing in all levels, not just the nurses but the doctors as well, I couldn't help but be very scared because I was leaving my babies in the hands of strangers, because they are strangers, okay? And when you're a mother, it's like your mother instincts kick in, actually from the moment you are pregnant. And it was a terrifying time, nerve-wracking, stressful, anxiety-ridden, but we got through. And we were strong, and we trusted, right? Because there's nothing you can do but to trust the people who are taking care of your babies in the NICU, right? And I cannot say enough good things about them, because they are so wonderful. They were wonderful people. And but I saw the other babies who had really bad health problems, and I saw the parents, because we were there every day, right? And I don't know, after I had my children and they were taken to the incubators, I had about a week to be there with them, but then I had to go home because, I was checked out. I couldn't, they couldn't keep my bed, of course, because other mothers needed the bed. So I had to go home, and I went there every day to be a certain amount of time with my babies. And it was just so surreal, because it's like you it's like the coping mechanism for that is like, it's like of surrealism. It's like you're in a dream, and you just function. Okay, it's like your need to see your babies and be with them and make sure they are okay. It takes over everything else in your life. So you, in a way, you act on pilot mode. But we made it, and my children are doing so great. They're wonderful children. But as a parent who experienced the fear and anxiety and uncertainty of having your children in incubators, I relate so much to those parents who had their premature babies there in incubators. And, I can't imagine the horror, the pain that they suffered, and that they're still suffering for the loss of their babies. Babies who were murdered by this wacko. I can't imagine. I can't feel. I would feel. I don't want to know what I would feel, because I can't. I can't, because I went through the NICU and all that. So, I can't imagine. But I can't empathize with those parents. That was so. It's the worst, killing children, abusing children is the worst of the worst. And those people who do that are the most evil motherfuckers in the universe. Child abusers, child killers. They are at the bottom of the bottom, okay? And as you can see, they always have similar traits. Serial killers, that is, because I believe Lucy Letby is a serial killer, and even worse, a serial killer of premature babies who were helpless in their incubators. But that's the first reaction, right? Having what I have told you about my experience in NICU with preemies. But then I started to look beyond that and see, why does a 25-year-old woman start killing babies? A nurse, someone who is supposed to take care of them and keep them safe and healthy, people who are supposed to love them, and take care of them. And what drove this young woman to do that? So I made a list of my first impressions. It's quite a long list of things that I have gleaned, details, okay, if you wish. And It's not in order because I do not like heavily prepared podcasts. I do not like heavily script podcasts. I like spontaneity. I like this podcast to be conversational. So all these thoughts that I have written down about Lucy Letby's personality, my personal view on her personality, they are not in order. I just wrote them as they came into my head, okay? So, but I wanted to make an parenthesis now before I go on. This is a very tiny channel. It's a fairly new channel, but I have had, and thank you guys, I have had great interactions with you guys, and I love your comments, and I love that you understand what I'm saying. It's like you appreciate the way I present the facts and my opinions on the facts, I'm really grateful, and it's been so rewarding, and this really has it's like I found a passion for podcasts, and I never thought, I love talking about things that I love, that I found fascinating, and but I never thought that YouTube would be like an outlet, and but then, as the months progressed by, and I thought, and I read and I interacted with you guys, and I see how you find my stuff interesting, how you actually understand where I'm coming from, etc. I felt very motivated to keep doing this, right? And you may find all what I have talked about in my other podcasts, and I have to thank beautiful Nicola Bully, because her sad case sparked this channel action, practically, and I found a passion for podcasting, and as an outlet for expressing myself, that I hadn't discovered before, not really. And I'm so thankful to you guys. But going to the point, I love podcasts. I love speaking on a microphone, but there are certain podcasts, certain material, or certain programs that I want to do on YouTube about, for example, I have Nicola Bully. I have 2 podcasts, big ones. One is about the esoteric keys that I found, further esoteric keys, and I want to talk about, and that's a big one, because I have screenshots, text, pictures, and footage. Okay, so I have still lots to talk about the Nicola Bully case, things that I have found, and but I can't do them because I can't do them the way I want to. Okay, because I need, in order for it to be the way I want it, proper, I need to show you, interactively show you, okay, this picture, this text, that footage, okay, as I speak. Okay? And for that, I need to be able to stream or to make a video with multi-screen capabilities. And I do not have a computer that have those capabilities. Please let me hear me. My PC, I have it since 2008, and it's very old. She's very, very loyal. I love her, but I can't do, the interactive thing on YouTube. It's impossible. And I have a laptop, but it's also from 2010, right? it's very old. It doesn't do it needs more RAM. It's very old and it's failing as well. So in order for me to do those kind of productions the way I want to do them, so you actually have the whole picture the way I want to show it to you, I need a new laptop or a new PC with those capabilities, or it has to be like a modern one. It doesn't have to be a new one. I am willing to buy a used one or refurbished one, although it's always better to buy a new one, brand new, but it doesn't matter. It would be great if I could have that piece of equipment so I could make the productions that I want to make for you guys. Okay, so what I have done, because I can't afford it, because here in South America technology like computers and all that, I mean modern ones with those capabilities, they are very, very expensive. Okay, much more expensive than in the US, for example, or in Europe. Okay, and I have a family and all that I earn goes to the family. I'm in a tight budget. Okay, these are tough times, so I set up in coffee.com, I set up a fundraiser to buy a new computer for me to do better productions. Okay, so I'm going to leave in the description box the link, so if any of you guys feel compelled to donate any amount you want to my fundraising for my computer, a new computer, that would be great. Okay, I'm going to leave that in the description box, so if any of you feels compelled to do it, thank you, and you can do it there. So I mean, it will be great. Okay, and I hope you understand where I'm coming from. I hate asking for money. I never do actually, but I felt that this tiny channel has become like a passion for me, and I think I like that you people take something good from it, and that's what I want, for people to take something good out of my channel. Okay, and for that, to make better videos, better streams, or better productions, I need the multi-screen possibilities in a computer. So I hope you understand, and no pressure, but I hope you help me get to that. Okay, so thank you for listening, and I'm going to get on with the Lucy Letby case. So I was going to talk about the list that I made about my sixth sense impressions on her. Okay, one of them, the first one, this is not in order. Okay, childish. Look at her bedroom. Okay, so when I saw the photographs on the news of her bedroom, and that is, I thought that was her parents' bed, like the bedroom at her parents' house, because it's so tiny and it's so in disarray. I mean, you see, it's like a mess. So I thought, she left the house when she was first accused, and she went to live with her parents. She did that, didn't she? But all the pics that I've seen, which are the same pics of the same bedroom, it says that it is from her own house. Okay, and they say it's a 3-bedroom house, which I can't believe that, because her bedroom is tiny. It's really tiny, and so maybe they got it wrong. But I mean, why? I mean, I can't, I don't know. I mean, I want you guys to help me understand that, because I've read a lot of articles, but that picture, the picture of her bedroom, it says that it's her house, not her parents' house. So I have seen pictures of her house and her parents' house from the outside, but you know, the bedroom pictures, they say it's from her house, which is weird because well, it's not weird. I mean, it's obvious that when they first arrested her, or when they first had the warrant to go to her house to search, obviously that bedroom is going to be of her house, of her own house. She was a homeowner. And what it struck me was, okay, this bedroom is so tiny, it's tiny and is in such disarray. Was that the police? I wouldn't think so, because, or maybe it was after the police left, and then the media photographers went there and just took some pictures, and that's it, goodbye. Because if those were pictures taken like before the police went into it and searched for things, you know, I would say, okay, I mean, how can she be such a mess? I mean, her own bedroom, and psychologically that tells me something, you know. When you're a grown person or an adult, you know, person with a job, whatever, who pay bills and all that, and you have your own house and your bedroom is in such disarray, and I understand that she used to do the night shift, and nurses, like, I think, work crazy hours, but her bedroom, why such mess? It just speaks a lot about her. And you see, if I had the new computer, I could now show you the pictures that I have of her bedroom, and we could interact. I could show you, pinpoint, okay, this and that. So I hope I made my point about the fundraising for the new computer. So if you look at her, the pictures of her bedroom, it's a mess. It's full of like bags and like suitcases and backpacks. I don't get it. Why? Was she a hoarder? Or, sorry, is she a hoarder? Hoarding, it's also a psychological disorder, which speaks of holding on to everything because you feel such a void inside of you. You feel so out of sorts with your own self that you hoard, you keep everything close to you. It's a way of control, okay? It's a coping mechanism for self-control, to have control over your own life. But obviously you're not having control because this is a disorder. And Lucy's bedroom is so sad. I mean, because it's very, even though it's messy, it's very tiny and it's very bare. It's bare, you know. There aren't, apart from like sad posters like over her bed head, how you say it, the top part of the bed, you know. Just these posters are kind of like, I mean, the one who is by her the bedboard, I don't know how you say it. It says, "A dream is a wish your heart makes." And it's so childish, you know. It's so like la la la, you know. And then she has happy Happy prosec. I don't know what it says. The happy something season. Can you make it out, guys? It's a small like a, I don't know what do you call those things. It's like a picture, you know, like a frame thing that says happy something prosecute season. I don't know what that means. I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing Prosecco. That is so weird. What does it say? Can you guys tell? So, you know, I downloaded all the pictures of her bedroom. It's like taken from different angles, which is great. And, you know, the bed is a mess. And also the bed is like a child's bed. It's like if you look at the bedroom, it's like a child's bedroom or like a young teenager bedroom. You get my drift? If I see that, I would say this is a teenager's bedroom, okay? If I didn't know anything about this photo, I would say that's a teenager's bedroom, which is so odd because she's freaking, when this was taken, what was she, like 26? No, she was 28, right? 2018. When did they get the warrants to search her house? Was it 2018 or 2019? I don't remember. But by then she must have been 28, 29 years old. She was like a 28, 29 years old, living in her own house. You know, she could afford her own house. I mean, that speaks that, you know, she's responsible, financially responsible. But her bedroom, it's like a teenager's bedroom. It's so, I mean, it's kind of like disturbing. And you see the colors, like lots of like hot pink. And the teddy bears. Oh my God, the teddy bears. What? I mean, why? Well, I can't tell you why, because I have my opinion. But, you know, first I wanted to go into the first thing that struck me. Like the first detail, okay? And it's her bedroom. It's first. It looks like a teenager. You know that teenagers are very messy, naturally messy. Well, that's what her room looks like a messy, typical messy, like a what, 14-year-old, 13-year-old? Because after you're 15, 16, if you're a girl, you normally are much more tidy. I was, you know, but this looks like a 12-year-old, you know. Yeah, like a 12-year-old, 13-year-old teenager. Maybe 14-year-old teenager because of the colors. And, you know, you still have the teddy bears. That's so, like, 13 years old, 14 years old, you know, and the hot pink clothes, like the hoodies. There's clothes strewn everywhere. And then you have the nightside table. You have like gel, like creams for her face, I assume. You have pills. I don't know what was that. You have a pink, like a dark pink or reddish clear glass of water. You have lots of Kleenex, and you have like bags everywhere. And you have three, I can surmise from here, three teddy bears or like stuffed animals in her bed. That is creepy. And I have nothing against teddy bears. I love teddy bears. But my children have the teddy bears. And they have also my old teddy bears. I gave them to them because, you know. But I don't have teddy bears in my bed. I mean, it's not... I'm sorry. It's not that I have anything against having teddy bears as an adult, but with these circumstances, with Lucy Letby's circumstances, context is like creepy, right? Creepy. So it's the bedroom of a teenage girl. It's not the bedroom of a almost 30-year-old girl. And look at her bed. It's like a girl's bed. It's like has this how do you say this it's, how do you call it? Sort of like a rail bed, like a metal bed. It has this clear like glass appliances on her bed, which is very like teenager. And you have the lights, the stream of lights, like like a Christmas tree lights, all spun around the bed rails, like a teenager. Teenagers do that, not 29-year-olds. I'm sorry. And then you have in the other bedside table like books, and I wish I could make out the books. One, it says, oh dear, I can't see. Can you make it out? There are 2 books. There are many books actually. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 that I can see. But there's a big red one. And she seems to like read from many books at the same time, which, that speaks of a, of a mind that cannot concentrate, that cannot focus. And greener, it says never greener, the red book. If you are able to do so, go to the photographs online of her bedroom, and there's a big red book which says, I think, never or something greener. What? Never greener. I'm going to look that up. I mean, I have so much information, and this is just the first line that I have on Lucy, but I want to see her book. Never greener. Let's see if there's a book. Never. I mean, it would be so great, guys, if I could show this to you interactively. It would be so much better. Greener. Books like Never Greener. Book Never Greener. Okay, let's see. I want to see what that book is all about. Oh yes, Never Greener by Ruth Jones. Oh, that's funny, Jones, because I have a Jones reference about Lucy, which is further in my list. Let's see. I'm going to see what kind of book that is, because you can tell a lot about what people read. Okay. So the book is, and this is the red cover, as Lucy's. So I'm guessing, yeah, it's the same one. Ruth Jones. Yes, Ruth Jones. Never Greener. Okay, let's see what it's all about, okay? What year is it? First published April 5, 2018. So this was in the warrant the police had for her house in 2018. That makes sense. She bought it when it was published, okay? When it first came out. Makes sense. So it says, in her unmissable debut, so it's her first novel, actress and screenwriter Ruth Jones shows us the dangers of trying to recapture that which was once lost and failing to realize the beauty of what we already have. So it's a self-help book. Oh, God help me. Oh dear, let's see. Show more. Does it have, I want to see the cover of the book, like, the little things that they put in the books. So in the cover of the book that Lucy was reading when the police went into her house is red cover, and it has like a broken daisy, a daisy without the petal. And that's what you do when you say, he loves me not, he loves me not. We have that here in South America as well. The petal, you start, taking out the petals of the daisy, and, it's a game. And if the last one you take out says, he loves me, then he loves you, or she. And if the last one says, he loves me not, then he loves you not. So it's like a childish game. It's like a sad, pathetic game of, oh, does he love me? But that's like teenager stuff. I'm sorry, that's just my opinion. But anyway, the jacket of the book, which is very telling as well, It says, it has that, picture of the flowered daisy or the petaled daisy. Oh, does he love me? It says, sometimes we wonder what might have been. Oh, God. Oh, what? I'm sorry. I don't mean to be hard or be a bitch about these topics, but come on. I'm going to talk about the other thing that I found about her. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do this because I am 50 minutes in already. So, but let's go on with the cover. It says, sometimes we wonder what might have been. Oh, yes. And then, the testimonies or the reviews by the first by Chocho Moyes. It says, I felt for every character, unputdownable. Then Jane Fallon says, kept me gripped from the beginning. And it says, sometimes we wonder what might have been, and in the end, by The Lost Petal, it says, sometimes we get to find out. Sometimes we wonder what might have been, and sometimes we get to find out. I mean, that is so like such a platitude, it's like a generalization. It's just another book in the thousands of self-help. Poor me, I don't have any love book. I hate those books, I'm sorry to say. But now, going to the Goodreads review, okay? That was just the jacket of the book, which is the same book that Lucy has on her side table in her messy bedroom. So it says, in her unmissable debut, actress and screenwriter Ruth Jones shows us the dangers of trying to recapture that which was once lost and failing to realize the beauty of what we already have. So it's about, looking in the past and being obsessed with the past. Okay, so that resonated with Lucy in a way. Obsession of the past, of love, past love, because the book is about love, because you get the daisy. Does he love me? He loves me not. And continuing on, it says, we spend most of our lives wishing we were somewhere else or someone else. Do we? Most of our lives, like really, okay. Or looking forward or harping back. Always thinking the grass is greener. That is why never greener. Okay. Never greener. That doesn't make much sense. Always thinking that the grass is greener on the other side. But it never is. It's still grass. Just a different patch of it. That's all. Wow. That's, really profound. Continuing on. The past has a habit of tracking us down and tripping us up. Again, it's like obsessed with the past. When Kate, this is like a fictional story. Okay, so Kate is the main character in this fiction novel. Okay, when Kate was 22, she had an intense and passionate affair with a married man. Oh my, Lucy, no! Are you referring to the married doctor? Oh dear, that is no good. So when Kate was 22, she had an intense and passionate affair with a married man, Callum. Ooh, Callum. Sorry. Which ended in heartbreak. Oh, woohoo. Kate thought she'd never get over it. Okay. Well, she was just 22. I can understand that anguish, but it's kind of like, okay. Anyway, 17 years later, so she would be 32, 39, right now. Yes, 22, 32, 39, almost like 40, right? 17 years later, life has moved on. Kate, now a successful actress, so this would be like the alter ego of Ruth Jones, maybe? Kate, now a successful actress, is living in London. Oh, nice. What does it remind me of the other item I want to talk to you about? But anyway, let's keep, in order, please. Not like Lucy's room. Kate, now a successful actress living in London, married to Matt, and a mother to little Tallulah. Why always all the girls, like in these fiction books, are called Tallulah? Sorry, I'm drinking my yerba mate, which I recommend to you. It says, meanwhile, Callum and his wife Belinda. Wait, who is Callum? Callum was the one she had, the married guy she had an affair with. Meanwhile, Callum and his wife Belinda. I mean, really, Belinda? What? I mean, that's just like so like, oh God, like really low standards. Meanwhile, Callum and his wife Belinda are happy together living in Edinburgh. Oh no, really? Like Scotland? And what? Wuthering Heights, maybe? What's that in Scotland? Anyway, they are living in Edinburgh and watching their kids grow up. The past, it would seem, is well and truly behind them all. But then Kate meets Callum again. Oh my God! And they are faced with a choice: to walk away from each other or to risk finding out what might have been. Second chances are a rare gift in life, but that doesn't mean they should always be taken. Oh my. Well, that's the meager description of the book. So Ruth Jones, about the author. Jones is a Welsh television actress. Do you know her? I don't. And writer known for her work on shows such as Gavin and Stacey and Stella. Okay. Reviews. I want to see a review. Oh dear. I mean, I could be hours talking about this. So fascinating, because we are looking into what a serial killer of premature babies used to read. What was she into? And this does not the fact that she reads this trash literature doesn't surprise me at all, because I had that item, a similar item. Like, she reminded me of someone like who used to read trashy literature for women. But it tells you so much about inside the mind of this woman. And I don't mean to be rude to women who read these books. I'm talking about a serial killer, okay? And even if I consider this literature like trashy, which I do, it doesn't mean that I will not read it. I have read this kind of novels when I was away on vacation on a beach house somewhere, and there wasn't anything, and you had that book there, and it was like, I have this still. I mean, I have some trashy books in my house, in my library. I mean, it's not that I hate this kind of genre, but this is too much. Come on, guys. This is like really like a passionate affair with a married man when you were 22, and then, when you are 39, you meet him again, and he's happy with children, and you fucking want to, like what? Make him leave his wife, and you leave your husband, and destroy your families to be together. Oh, come on. I'm sorry. I want to read a review by a reader, and it says he just gave her just 2 stars out of 5. It says, after all the publicity hype for Ruth Jones' debut novel, I finished this feeling disappointed. The basis is a good storyline, which does keep you wanting to know what happens next. But I felt her undeniable skills as a writer would have been far better used creating a TV drama from this plot and not a novel. For me, the book lacked backbone. Yes, because, she's a scriptwriter, right? And the story is not very compelling either. The characters and their emotions are only skimmed over on the surface, and you don't get a real feel for them. Yes, of course, because it's trash paperbacks. This is understandable given that she usually writes for actors who would do that part of the storytelling for her. The sex scenes, of course, there are always hot, steamy sex scenes. Yes, oh dear. The sex scenes, of which there are so many, typical. If I will keep talking about this, but I will keep reading the review. The sex scenes, which are so many, were pretty funny and not at all believable. Well, if you buy a book with the main characters are called like Kate and Callum and Belinda and Tallulah and Matt, yeah. Of course, not going to be very believable, is it? I felt that they'd been thrown in as an afterthought to try and beef the storyline up. I did quite like the ending, though. It was predictable, but not overly cheesy, really. In fact, the last 10% of the book was stronger than the first 90%. Oh dear. I do struggle to believe this would have been published, particularly with such publicity, if written by an unknown author. Let's just say it was an okay read, which was enjoyable in places, but there are also many other novelists I would rather be reading. I know it's had lots of rave reviews, maybe I'm missing something, but it just didn't float my boat. Well, I don't blame you, Lydia, the reviewer. Let's see, I don't know why, people of certain age, love this kind of, really love this kind of, trashy books. I remember reading about the book The Valley of the Dolls, and that's much superior than this trash, because the movie was quite, even if it was, a typical romantic, silly movie, it was interesting in a way. It had something, it had quirkiness, it had, oh dear, it had something, okay? But, all these novels that came after, I think that she was the one who, what's her name? It had a similar name, Ruth something? No, she had a strange name. The one who wrote The Valley of the Dolls. After her, I think she was the one who, quote unquote, invented the genre, okay? This particular genre. So I enjoy The Valley of the Dolls. It's not something that I will read all the time, and I don't buy books like that, but I happened upon that book because it's a classic of trashy love stories or whatever. Sex and the City first, Jacqueline Susan. Yeah, Jacqueline Susan was the author, okay, of The Valley of the Dolls. But I'm branching out. Yes, I'm getting out of topic here. But it's very interesting that, and not at all surprising to me, that Lucy Letby had in that photograph that book. The cover, she was reading Never Greener by Ruth Jones, which is a trashy romantic novel, like many others. So she lived in this. What does that tell me about her state of mind when she had killed all those babies? It tells me about someone who is obsessed by love, which is something that I had already gleaned from her. She has this obsessive, unhealthy. And this book is about someone who had an affair with a married man. So maybe she saw herself in this Katie character, even though she's single, isn't she? We don't know many details about her personal life, right? But she lived alone, didn't she? I think she was single, and if she read those books, it's because, you know, she was single, you know, but she was in the wrong path, because instead of going into the path of true independence, she was eating up all these trash books about like irrational, impossible love stories. Okay, so I think maybe that reflected her obsession with this doctor in the hospital she worked at, and I'm sure this doctor was married with kids, just as he was her Callum. I wonder if they had an affair, or maybe it was all in her head. Who knows? But you know, doctors and nurses like shagging in the hospital, even if they're married, is like a common story. So I wonder if they had an affair and he left her and she was seething with rage. Because I see also the rage, like I see in all the serial killers. I see like a boiling rage underneath the surface all the time, and then it explodes like a volcano. And the way they take their rage by killing people, you know. And I'm sure she had really bad anger problems and rage inside of her, and she you know, struck out. She let it out by killing these poor babies. But that's not the only cause for me. But rage, it's also a common denominator in serial killers or in very abusive people. Okay, so I've been yapping for 1 hour and 6 minutes now, and you know, I just got into the first item on my Lucy Letby list of personality observations about how childish she is, and because of her bedroom, and we have found out because of one book she read, just one, okay, one. There are other books that I want to know what they're all about, and I'm going to find it out in another podcast. And I also want to keep digging on my list, my Lucy Letby list, which is, you know, quite long actually. And, you know, I hope you have really had a good time listening to this. I hope you have, you know, I made you think, I made you like contemplate about human nature. And anyway, I hope you will help with the fundraiser I put up on coffee.com. If you're compelled to do so, that would be great. Anyway, it's 1 hour and 8 minutes now. I will keep talking, because when I just see so many details, you know, and it was just the first detail, you know. I want to know about the other books, and I want to like deconstruct her bedroom. Yes, because I've seen so many interesting things in that bedroom, but that book tells me a lot about her. And I will continue on another episode, and hopefully I will be able in the future, and thanks to you, I will be able to make it interactive, so you see what I see, like on real time, you know. You see what I'm talking about, and I'm pointing at the book and all the other details, okay? So thank you so much for listening up to this point, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. And as Truman would say, if I don't see you, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. God bless you all. Bye.